Happy Derby, everyone. And, of course, May the 4th be with you. Very important day, too. Doesn't get as much attention as Derby, but it should in some cases. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. It is Derby, and it is a gorgeous setup that we're talking about today. If only this would hold all the way into Derby, it'd be really nice. But as you're about to see, it's not all bad news as we head toward the Derby time frame here. There's a lot to watch. There is some wiggle room here for this setup for Oaks and Derby. There's not a ton, but there is some, and that's good. I get frustrated when I see modeling that doesn't agree, but at the same time, it gives me hope that there's still an opportunity to see things improve. Does that make sense? So I'll explain all that here in just a second. As always, you guys can leave your comments, questions, anything on Facebook, Twitter, and of course on YouTube if you're watching from there. I'm going to hopefully explain everything to where you won't be able to have too many questions. That's my goal. We'll see how that works out. Let's get you to a live view at the moment. Once again, of Churchill Downs. Beautiful shot. Looking live there. It is, boy, it's busy out there already today. A lot of folks, certainly the media. Now, of course, the gates are not open yet, but just even the energy is built up. It was pretty wild setup. We did have an issue that we are watching for our midday show. The alarm did sound on the backside or for the track. And I haven't heard that alarm in a while. Probably 3 times in my career, at least a wave, I've heard the alarm go off. And the alarm goes off whenever there is a riderless horse. Something's happened. The jockey fell off, where the case may be, or even a case where a horse is down. The alarm went off twice. The first time it went off, everyone was a little confused, run into the track, and then happened a second time. We found out it was verifying was the first one involved. Apparently verifying is okay and will be a fine. And then we had Tell Me No Lies, which is a filly for the Oaks. Interesting enough, it was quite an aggressive moment for Tell Me No Lies. She ended up running to the backside after she knocked the jockey off. She apparently is okay, but again, they are discussing all of that right now about the condition of the horses, whether or not it's an issue or not, for whether or not they will run or not. Always a scary moment, but if there's no injuries, there certainly leads the question to be whether or not they are eager enough to win the race, right? They got that aggression to win. Usually we see that when they get put into the gates. You always wonder if that's a sign of something. So anyway, just updating you guys on that. That happened just moments ago. We were out there. That is something you'll be hearing more about coming up on midday. We'll keep you updated on that as you're following the race. All right, to the weather side of things. Sorry, I got derailed there a little moment. Beautiful, though. I think Derby is probably going to be one of the best Derbys that I recall. I mean, Derby hasn't been around a long time, but still, it's looking good today. plenty of sunshine. Temperatures warming nicely. You've got a nice amount of dry air. It's going to allow for that trend to see the thermometers keep climbing fast as we head throughout the day. And then we'll get into the 70s, which, oh my goodness, 70 sounds so nice. I'm so tired of being cold. And I'm a snow lover, right? So, I mean, it's just cold forever, it seems like, here lately. But certainly starting around Thunder, we enter that cold pattern, and it has been tough to get out of it. But we're trying to today, and we're going to try to over Derby weekend. And as you're about to see, we're really going to do it as we in the next week. All right, here's our system that's going to be the thorn in our side. Right now, it's located across Wichita, Oklahoma City, Tulsa area. It's got some clouds and rain with it. Now, our air is quite dry, and it's running into that dry air. That has been the issue since we first saw the system, I don't know when it was, over a week ago, and that's still the problem. Now, here's one of our in-house models. What's interesting about this model is that it keeps going back and forth on what will happen here, and sometimes in a very dramatic way, which, again, makes sense a bit here. Today, we're good, though. No problems today. We're good tonight. It'll be warmer tonight, thank goodness. We get into Oaks. Now, the system is going to be tracking to the south and east, and it gets sheared out, as we've been talking about. The dry air from the north is going to be beating down on this while there's still humid air to the southwest. Question still is how much of that dry air is going to really try to limit the atmosphere. The dew point is dramatic tomorrow. On the HER model, our dew point, and its measurement we have of moisture in the air, drops into some cases, 30s and 40s. That would then allow the thermometer to go crazy tomorrow, easily getting close to 80 degrees. Meanwhile, other models are a little more saturated, actually very saturated, and our dew points go up into the 50s. That would then limit the thermometer to about 68 degrees for high temperature. That is a big difference, and it would also mean there would be more rain involved, or at least drizzle. So the scenario for tomorrow is still highly variant on how this is going to play out, even this close in time to the Oaks race. Of course it is. Of course it is. This is I feel like the weather is always out to get weather people for Oaks and Derby. It's out to get us. I think it's a conspiracy. Anyway, this particular model is not thrilled about the idea of moisture moving in. Now, this morning, when I first looked at it, it had light rain all the way up to really actually Central Avenue, all the way to Churchill. That was the northern extent of it. And light rain all the way in Central Kentucky. The most recent run came in, gone. Doesn't have it. It has a drier profile. So is the HER model onto something? Is it going to lead the pack on the idea of a drier setup? Even the GFS just updated. It too has eased back on the rain chance as we get into Oaks. I like this. This is good. This is not all bad stuff at all. So I do think it's going to be one of those days where we have to just watch and see how the dew point trends throughout the day. But at the moment, odds are in your favor of it being a dry setup here. And I do think much of Oaks Day is going to be dry. Cloud cover, I think this is the issue we got to figure out. I'm not too worried about the rain side. I know the rain side is more impactful when it falls. But I think the cloud cover is going to make the biggest difference. We've talked a lot about on this blog, especially about, you block the sun in early May, you can get stuck in the 50s and 60s for highs, especially if the cloud cover is thick enough. It's easy to do, especially in this profile of this atmosphere that we're in, this pattern we're in. But you get rid of that. You get rid of those clouds and you let the sun just do its job like it's trying to do today and will do today. The thermometer will react to that and you will end up with a much warmer setup. So there is some bust potential here on especially temperatures for Oaks and Derby Day. So I know that's tough because you're trying to figure out what to wear, right? You want to plan accordingly. I get that. You don't want to be, dressed overly warm in an outfit and then suddenly we're jumping close to 80 degrees and you're sweating all day, all right? We don't want that for you guys. We also don't want you to be dealing with planning for near 80-degree weather and you get out there and suddenly drizzle may form and then the thermometer drops suddenly down to 60 or 61 and it gets chilly out. So I know it's frustrating on that end, but if you are still having at least the ability to adjust the last minute for some of your outfits, I would keep that in mind. But right now, I like the trend. There's a lot of argument going on in the models now, at least screaming toward the idea of the drier scenario. So that's good. The new round of models is actually updating right now. So we'll let you know, certainly on midday, if that's still the trend or not. But so far, that's been the trend. I've noticed the overnight and early morning. Actually, it started a couple days ago and then kind of wavered a bit. So that's what Oaks looks like there. Now, the moisture does actually expand a bit more because here's the issue. We got that wave that comes to the south and east, kind of gets sheared out. Then we're switching gears quickly as we head into this weekend, especially Saturday into Sunday. We're going to go back into a humid setup that's going to build our way. Because there is very little room between one scenario on Oaks Day of the dropping, weakening, sheared out low pressure and switching gears to a summer mode as we head into the weekend, the atmosphere has very little room of basically being relaxed. So because of that, cloud cover will likely expand fairly quick as we head into Derby Day. And that, again, is going to play a role on the high temperature, but it could also spit out a shower or a bit of sprinkles. It is certainly possible as we head into Saturday. I can't rule it out. Now, you see here, this wants to clear it out to at least break the clouds up and get us into the upper 70s for Derby. Not ruling that out. I think that's a fair assessment. That could certainly happen. But it is going to be a little more of a moisture profile in the air. So the clouds are a little tougher to break up in that scenario than even, say, Oaks Day. And then we get into a warm, humid setup, as you'll see here in just a second, in the extended. So the rain chance as it stands now, we're going to keep it low, and we're going to keep it late afternoon, more so after the big race, after the run for the Lilies. It looks to be after that into the nighttime hours. And then Derby, we can't just take it out. Can't yet. I hope we could, but at the moment, I think because of the moisture that's going to be available, it just wouldn't take much to get at least a brief shower to take place. And normally we wouldn't worry about that and such a minor issue. But this is the biggest day of the year for Louisville. So, yes, it does matter. So we have to keep that in there. So I hope that all makes sense. I see you guys that are watching. You're really quiet today, which makes me nervous. You guys okay? Let me know if you're okay. Also, I want to make sure that I'm making sense. So let me know if I am making sense or there's something else I need to clarify about the setup that I can help you guys with, because I want to make sure everyone's good on this and what to look for if you're a weather watcher or a weather model watcher, what to look for in the next 36 hours. Those are the things to watch, the dew point coming our way and the temperatures and how those react together. That's going to be the key part of the forecast. Everyone's good. Nathan's good. Nathaniel, sorry. Christine, Lauren. Okay, good. Just want to make sense. Okay. So I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad news at all. It could be worse. A lot of you are having derby parties. I get that. So you want to be able to have fun outside with your friends. You don't want to have to deal with the risk for rain. Even if it does rain, it's important to stress this is not a heavy rain scenario. All right. This would be a light rain. And that's good. I don't even see lightning and thunder here. Possibly in E-Town, down in southern Kentucky, you could get some lightning out of this, but I just don't see it happening this far north. I think the dry air is going to be our friend. Dan, start over. Dan says I have to start over. Never mind. He's going to get the replay. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. So what happens after this? Summer arrives. Of course it does. Derby's over. Why not? Let summer arrive now. It's odd how we just do that suddenly. Flip the switch. Humid weather, scattered showers, and storms. It's an omega block pattern, which means we have a block here to the west, got a low, big high in the middle, then a low again east. It's taken on the Greek symbol of omega. When that happens, the weather does not change much at all. Relatively quiet pattern. Most of your wind field is going to be found in this area in the leads, the windward side here of the front range of the Rockies. I'll get it right. That's your best wind potential, but it's going to be so humid and warm that you can get a good strong thunderstorm out of some of these here. We got to watch out for heavy rain now that could develop in some of these showers and storms that move through the area. Chris, will the wind energy have this year continue into high Cape season? Likely not, because here's the thing. I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys about this because obviously it's been a little busy. But we are quickly switching to El Nino, which is not unheard of to go from La Nina to El Nino, change the narrative quickly, but it is happening rather fast in the Pacific Ocean right now. So I do think that is going to be significant on how this plays out this summer, but how we're working on that. That's something separate that we're constantly looking at the weather data right now for Oaks and Derby. But to the side, we're kind of analyzing the trends for El Nino into the summer and how does that relate. So we're working on that. I'll do a much more of a blog post on that, Chris, as we get a little closer in time here. But I want to make sure that I don't want to get everyone too heavy into the outlook yet. But certainly for next week, I do see it being a humid pattern. We're talking low to mid 80s coming into play. No frost worries, that's for sure. That's over. And then showers and storms coming into the area. But this is going to be your typical pop-up showers and storms. Some of these fronts that we'll try to push in here will fade out because we're going to have just a weak pattern in general in our area with the block. But there could be some wind energy as far as some of those storms, as far as fronts that are fading, we need to watch. And we'll keep an eye on that, especially as we head toward Mother's Day, which is going to be probably stormy at the moment. All right, here's your 10-day to give you an idea of the sampling on some of the numbers. You can see the 70s that we're still fine-tuning. Then you see those 80s really dominating the extended outlook there. There's no doubt about it. All right, guys, I got to run. Stay tuned for an update on this rain chance as we head into tomorrow in Derby. I like the trends on this, but certainly in the short term, get outside and enjoy today. Is going to be a nice Derby, whether you're having a party or going to the track. It is going to be gorgeous outside. Get out there and enjoy it. And I'm going to see you guys coming up on the flip side. If I quit hitting buttons, sorry about that. Here we go. I found it now. Have a good day, guys.